Welcome everyone to episode 1 of Super Average People. I'm just an average person gonna go around interviewing and filming super average people. Thank you for joining me. On today's episode, I'm actually interviewing someone that I do already have a bit of an in with. I wasn't going to interview someone completely random for my first video. Mads, I guess at the moment, the main thing she is doing is she is trying to divert fabric, clothing, etc. that would normally go to landfill and trying to repurpose them into other items that people can buy, such as this basket. Every 10 minutes, 6 tons, just in Australia alone, of clothing go into landfill. This is astonishing. It's just too big to really even get your head around. So, this basket, it actually has a sarong, a t-shirt, and a jumpsuit. So, 3 items that would have ended up in landfill, and it's now a basket. So I bought this from Mads recently from the markets, and I don't know, just got me thinking, why does she think that just her, this one person, can tackle such a massive issue? What gives her the courage to align her life in such a way? You know, spending hours on something like this basket. What drives her? Just the why, and maybe some deeper questions too we'll go into, but yeah, let's go visit Mads.
Hi, I'm Mads. I am a 28-year-old female who lives in Toowoomba, Queensland. I live here in my house with my 2 dogs, Hunter and Jim, and my husband, Matt. Matt and I both have our own businesses. I have 2 at the moment, and then I work at a couple of other little places as well. My main passion and focus at the moment is my business, Patched Up Homewares. I guess I've always done hospitality, and then I started doing a Monday to Friday job, and it was awful. Just that sort of, you're always at work, but you can't do anything because you're just at work, and always when you have to do errands or whatever, and there's no it's just very boring. I have my 2 businesses because I started one because that's what I really thought I wanted to do, but then the way that it all actually works is different to how I imagined, so I'm not as get to be as creative and stuff as I wanted it to be. So I just started another one. Everyone fails and just keeps going, so I think that's just part of it, and then you learn stuff from each one. So Patched Up Homewares is everything that we make is made from secondhand used materials. So whether it's going through my closet or going to Vinnie's or donations from other people, we just use that and just try and make it into something. So I sort of started with baskets and that sort of thing because that uses up a lot of fabric, and then other sort of people keen on Pinterest or wherever for ideas for different sort of stuff to make. And I also want to try and do maybe some more furniture and that sort of thing, which sort of ties in with the furniture hire that I do for events sort of thing. A little drinks caddy, and it's got a pocket inside, so you can put an ice pack in there and it stays cold. It actually works really well. We tested it out. It stayed cold in the car for 4 hours. It's kind of overwhelming, I guess, because a lot of it is just you just sort of don't think about in the day-to-day life, because each person is so you know how much rubbish you create, or you have some idea. I think people aren't really aware of how much they actually create until you actually sit down and look at it. But then you learn stuff about landfill, and it's just you think about even your own rubbish multiplied by everyone on the planet, and then businesses and all this sort of stuff as well. It's just obscene. So using everything secondhand to give all that stuff a second life. It helps keep it out of landfill for longer. And And because they're still just sitting there waiting to go to landfill unless someone else uses it. And yeah, there's all this material already out there ready to be turned into something else. You just got to look at it and see the potential or have the idea to turn it into something new and yeah, give it another chance at life. There's a lot to change, but there's a lot of small changes that everyone can make that would make a huge difference. It's not like everyone has to like change the world, but everyone can just change their life a bit and that would make a huge difference. But just, yeah, like just fabric, which is mainly what we focus with Patched Up, like that's just one section of like what becomes rubbish, and that's just, and fabric's so reusable too, which is like crazy that it all just gets thrown out because it's like there's not really any fabric that's single use really. Like if you have a dress or something you don't want anymore, you could cut it up and turn it into a cushion, or you could wrap your Christmas gifts in it, or you know, like there's so many options for it to be reused. The biggest battle is probably like just the time it takes to make everything. And so like the time, if I want to be able to make it into like a viable career so that I can put more time into it, I need to be able to sort of charge something for my time. And then what I'm making, I'm really competing against places like Kmart and Big W, you know, these sorts of places that create these cheap disposable homewares, and like people are into like having, you know, making their houses look nice. So it's not like creating homewares isn't the problem, it's creating something that people are able to afford to buy or see the value in. And I think when you can go to Kmart and get a basket for $5, why would you come to me and get a similar size basket for $40 or $50? But then I look at stuff in Kmart, like especially now that I'm more aware, and I'm like, it would have even if you have, like, you can get these great big machines that all they do is zigzag, and they're industrial machines, and you just feed it in and it does the thing. But even if I was to like braid the fabric or have a machine that braids the fabric, like there's still time that goes into that and the expense. Like I just don't understand how they make money. Well, and then if you're not paying people a wage, that makes it easier to make money, like nothing. But yeah, so that's definitely the biggest challenge, is like who we're competing against with selling our products. And I guess getting more known. I feel like if people knew more of what we're doing and why, and the amount of time it takes, like I'd like to be able to make money from this, but I still keep doing it even though I'm not making much money. So not really, I guess. But yeah, there is sort of like, there's a component of me, it's like, well, at a certain point it doesn't become economically feasible to keep, you know, doing the same thing, and then you just sort of have to change. Like ideally I'd like to be just doing like making stuff for Patched Up homewares and stuff all the time, but I still have to pay bills, so I have to divide my time into other stuff that I don't really want to do because of money. So in that side it does, I guess. It's like all the fabric that they cut off, they make curtains and cushions. It's like a soft furnishing business, but all the offcuts from everything, so just when they like hem curtains and all, it's just long strips, and there's just like tons and tons and tons of it, and some of it is so beautiful that it's really nice. So just she's been like collecting and trying to use what she can, but she came across our business and she was really, really excited that there was maybe somewhere that all this fabric could go. So she's in Brisbane. She organised to get, her dad came and dropped some down here for us. And it's a bit tricky because it's all in long strips. So it is a bit tricky to use, but yeah, we've been finding places it can be used, and especially in the baskets, it's really good. But so now, yeah, like all these strips of, like, to the business, it's just, I don't know, it's just waste. Like they can't really use it in any way. And I guess it's just, to them, it's just part of running the business. They have all this fabric waste. But yeah, this one girl there has been collecting it, and she's been telling the other people who work there, hey, can you save some of this fabric? Because she'd be like going through the bins. And so now, like, I feel like the other people working there are sort of starting to think about it too. So it's like this sort of flow-on effect. I just really, like, I get so much enjoyment out of like making stuff. Like for me, like the fact that it helps the environment and all that is like such an added, I guess it's like 50-50, but it's really like, I really enjoy making stuff, and that to me is so fulfilling. And the fact that I can make it out of secondhand stuff is like even more fulfilling, and that I can keep everything out of landfill and do all that stuff. Like I would be making stuff regardless, because that's just always what I've done. And to me, it's like really relaxing, and I don't know, I just really like being able to turn something from nothing into something else. In terms of hope with the business, I enjoy going to the markets because you talk to people, and some people are just like so into it. Like on the weekend, this like husband and wife came in, and they're probably in their late 50s or so, and they were like so into it. And the husband was walking around picking everything. He was like, this is amazing, this is such a great idea. Like, oh wow, look at this, look at that. And then they're all just like picking it up and looking at it, and they're like, this is such a great idea. And I think like that really gives you hope. Like people see it and go, oh, this is like a good idea, and like, you know, this is, you know, that's really encouraging, because like sometimes you're like, oh, am I just making something that no one wants? But people come in and like it is a good idea. Like I know that, but sometimes you doubt it, and it's, yeah, I guess that gives you more like reassurance and confidence than hope. But I guess also then like that encourages you to like keep going, because people do like it, and you're like, I hope that there's like this sort of turn coming where people are like, and it is happening. People are becoming more and more aware of how they're spending their money and what that means, like in the sort of back end of that sort of thing. And people are becoming more aware of it. And when people come and be like, oh, this is so great, you can see that sort of change happening in just general society. Oh, what do I love about life? Well, at the moment I really love that I can, like, I'm in a position where I can spend my time making stuff, and I can be really flexible, and that I get to be creative. Like, it really does, it brings me so much joy. And yeah, I can, like, I'm really lucky that I'm in a situation where I can flex around my other jobs and that sort of thing and make it all work together. I'm happy to choose to get paid a bit less, because I'm happy to do that. But I'm lucky that Matt has a business that I can work for, and that doesn't have to be super structured. And I'm lucky that other friends have a business that I can work for, and that doesn't need to be like, that they're happy for me to flex in and out. At times be easier to just have a job where I'm there, I know what I'm getting paid every week, and just sort of fit it around. But I don't know, it's not quite for me. And I really want to, like, I just also feel like I can't get patched up to be anything more unless I'm committing that time and energy to it. And even now I'm always like, oh, I need to be working harder at it to get it going further. But some weeks it's just not going to happen. But that's fine. I'm just really proud of it for not dying and growing. And like every day I walk around and I check on their leaves and if they're growing more. I always thought it would be really cool to have like a block of land. I know one of my other friends always wanted to just buy a cul-de-sac and have like all your friends, like you have like a small community, so your friends and your family and that sort of thing, and then you can live there. Like Matt and I always talk about having like a block of land, we'll live at one place, someone else will live everywhere else, and somewhere else on the block of land, and you'd grow your own like fruit and veg, and you'd have your own, you know, everything, and your whole family would be there as a community. So I guess like that on like a huge scale would be great, is if like everyone could have their own little community sort of block where like your friends live there and you can be sort of self-sustaining, but then you can also, you know, go and do other stuff. And I was listening to this podcast about cars the other day and about fuel, and someone with lots of money and power was all for lead, so that's how they ended up with lead in fuel. But they could have actually run them on alcohol, which farmers could have made themselves, and it burns clean, and like we would just have had none of the problems that we have now. But no one was going to make money off that, so it didn't happen. Well, I mean, I understand why, you know, like we're in a sort of a world where you need money to go around, but I think like you just don't need as much as like what everyone's like, I gotta make more money. But you like, there's studies, you get to a certain point and more money doesn't actually make you any happier. It just makes you like more miserable. So you just need enough, like everyone just needs enough to go around. I don't know how you achieve that, but it doesn't. Surely there's some way where you can be encouraging the environment and making money. Like it doesn't have to be a separate thing. Like if there were more businesses that were pro-environment and did things to help the environment, you know, like if I could be making a livable wage off of patched up homewares, which is taking stuff out of landfill and all that sort of thing, then that would be ideal, where I could be helping the environment and still making money. Yeah, you can sort of feel like, what's the point? But if everyone's like, what's the point? Then nothing happens. Everyone's got to be like, well, it's only my 1%, but if 10 people do that, that's 10%.
Wow, I just love how resourceful Mads is. She always inspires me just to get in there, make do, make it happen. I guess just speaking with her, it's almost just like she doesn't have a choice. It's just who she is, and to not do what she's doing would be suppressing her gifts, suppressing just that knowing of what is happening to our world. But because she's being authentic, it gives her happiness. And I guess that's what I loved about being with Mads today. And I just feel like she really believes that what she does matters. And I think that's because she knows that she matters. And from there, it's just trust in, I guess, just trusting that you are just, I guess, a piece of this big puzzle and you're doing your part, and that her small acts of love, which are actually quite massive, are having a trickle effect and they are changing the world.